It is official. TikTok has gone dark. But as somebody who likes to make calls, I'm going to put one out right now and say by Friday of this week, so I don't know when that would be, the 25th, I think, TikTok's lights will be turned on. Now, why do I think this? I think there are several game theories that would make this seem like an interesting chess move. First and foremost, I think it is very clear, at least in my opinion, that TikTok is frankly spyware. It is used by an enemy to cause bad things, to spy on reporters and government officials and whoever the heck they want. So I think in this game theory, you are going to see a couple of things. First, I believe that Trump, in the art of the deal mindset, will look at this as a quick win to reinvigorate, frankly, an audience that probably he hasn't reached very well. Gen Z, millennials, and all of that. He could be seen as, frankly, a savior. And to accomplish something like that in the first week of his presidency will be positive momentum. But again, in the classic art of the deal mindset, I think there's a couple of things that you will also look forward to. Yes, the lights will be turned on by Friday. Second, it will come with strings or conditions. It will probably come with a clock. What do I mean by all of that? I suspect that there will be a clock where it blows up and says, hey, if you don't do what I want by X date, bye-bye. I suspect, given what I'm about to go through, he'll probably give it 90 days. Basically say, hey, we're going to turn the lights on in good faith. We are going to give you 90 days to do what I want. Now, what does Trump likely want? I think it is very clear that it is in the best interest of the United States and, frankly, the world, that if TikTok is divested and owned by American citizens. So, in short, by Friday, the lights are on. There is a clock, probably 90 days. And there will be, I don't know if I want to call it a bidding war, but a process to sell, divest, all of that. So that is my call on TikTok. Again, kind of 3 steps. Step 1, it's on. Step 2, o'clock. Step 3, do what I want or bye-bye. So that's what I expect to happen in the first week of Trump's presidency. Now let's step into what I want you to remember. First and foremost, we always go through the week ahead. Remember that Monday is a holiday. It is Martin Luther King Day, and it is the inauguration of our next president. I have been very clear the last week or so. I expect there to be a lot of chaos, a lot of noise, a lot of stuff going on. I think there will be a lot of things going on that you and I, as just outsiders, it won't make a lot of sense. We won't be able to tie the thread together. There will be things done that seem backwards or counterproductive. But again, I've asked you, let's sit back 2, 3, 4 weeks and see if you and I can understand the chessboard, right? Again, something that Trump has historically been very good at, as in the TikTok example, is negotiations. It's kind of his superpower. And he gets, frankly, folks to bend to his will, if you will. So again, you are going to see the talking heads explode. You're going to see just complete nonsense. And what I would ask you to do is just let it go. Do your thing. Stay in your lane. Look for deals. Enjoy life. Let's come back and revisit what's going on in 30 days, because I suspect a lot of things coming out in the first 24 hours, 48 hours, are going to be not relevant in 30 days. This is the classic negotiation, right? You come over the top, you make outlandish claims, you force the competitor to make a move. He knows this. Frankly, the competitors probably know this. And we got to see where the dust settles. So don't blow a gasket. Don't get distracted. Don't stop doing what you're doing. It's going to get wild, and get your popcorn ready. Let's continue going. Wednesday, we do get leading economic indicators, really what's going on in the U.S. Thursday, we will get weekly jobless claims. And then we will get existing home sales. I was kind of surprised by this. Existing home sales last month were 4.15 million. They're actually expected to go up to 4.2. I really don't have an opinion about last month. Again, my call for 2025 hopefully is very clear. I think it will be the worst year for transactions to date, right? I think it's the year we go sub 4 million. More on that in a minute. But I don't know how December will finish. We will also get consumer sentiment. And then finally on Friday, we will get both services and manufacturing PMI. Again, historically, services is above 50 and growing. Manufacturing, last time I remembered, I think it was 48.6, so slightly below, but improving. Remember last week we did get a Philly manufacturing number that kind of blew it out. Maybe it was Boston. I don't remember. But there was some manufacturing survey last week that blew it out. So let's see if we get any follow through on that. Why don't we talk about 2025 housing? So we've gotten our first quick peek of 2025 housing, and it's kind of exactly what I told you was coming. Again, remember, sub 4 million transactions. It looks like pending home sales are off to an extremely slow start. Now, some of this undoubtedly is probably weather related, right? I've seen pictures of snow on the ground in Texas, which I'm going to guess is not normal. There's been a winter advisory in much of the country, and looks like to be continuing, not to mention the fires in LA and lots of stuff going on weather-wise. But pending home sales down 18% in Newark, 18% in New York City, Detroit down 17%, Minneapolis down 17%, and Nashville down 16%. Folks, this is how you get a slow year. Pending home sales are down. And don't forget, I think it was on Thursday, we talked about, Realtor.com highlighting that 16% of December transactions were canceled. So again, these are just pending home sales. All those won't close. There will be some cancellations. So lots and lots of stuff going on. Earnings for next week, really the highlight for me are going to be the smaller banks. Remember last week, the big banks went 8 for 8 on earnings. They all beat, and 7 of 8 beat on revenue. I believe it was Wells Fargo was the one that slightly missed on revenue. That is frankly all to be expected. We've been talking about that for years. The big banks are fine, too big to fail, all of that nonsense. But this week we get the smaller banks, and it will be interesting. I will be looking for loan loss reserves, net interest margin, and new loan activity, right? Are they starting to write new loans, or are they still cleaning up their balance sheet? Specifically, some companies I'll be looking at next week, starting on Tuesday, because again, Monday is a holiday. We got KeyBank, Netflix, and Capital One on Tuesday. Wednesday, we've got Discover, Johnson & Johnson, Ally, and United Airlines. Thursday, General Electric, American Airlines, and Alaska Airlines. I am interested in the airlines because, again, it's a sign for me that we're still buying experiences. I think it was Delta. Wasn't it Delta like 10 days ago that said 2025 might be the best year ever? I think it was Delta CEO that said that. So let's see if it's Delta specific or if we get follow through from United, American, and Alaska. And then finally on Friday, we will get American Express and Verizon. So again, a big week for economic data, big week for earnings. It will be interesting. Let's catch you up on the Las Vegas event. Frankly, we did take a couple of steps backwards. I've had some people reach out to me, ask for refunds because they've had work things or life things or whatever. So I did refund a bunch of tickets over the weekend, which is not fun, but hey, it is the right thing to do. But we still ended up net selling 1 ticket. So I think last time we talked, we had 51 tickets left. Now we have 50. Folks, get your tickets. Lots of you told me you were coming. I would like to sell this out, hopefully this week, frankly. So if you are planning to come, get your tickets, get your questions, figure out who's speaking, book your airline and flights, and just come out, be part of One Rental at a Time in real life, see what we're all about, make some friends, network, all of that. I would love to hear from you. I just want to feel, frankly, I want to feel good that all the money I'm spending will be done well, because I had to drop 40 grand last week with food and the event space, so that money's gone. And I just want to make sure we're going to sell out, so I guesstimated the right number. Let me know in the comments below. Are you one of those that has not bought their ticket yet? So I can just do a quick inventory and see if I need to do something. I'd love to hear from the folks that are coming that haven't bought your tickets yet. I just want to feel better that the last 50 tickets will be sold. So that would be great. Don't know if you guys catch the All In podcast. It is something that I listen to most weekends. But they had a pretty lengthy discussion at near the end of the segment talking about how AI is going to destroy. Frankly, they talked about Harvard and Stanford and all of that kind of elite MBA programs. But you can really step that back and just look how AI is going to be, kind of a tutor in your pocket. You can go ahead and learn anything that you have desire on. So it will be very interesting if AI is the thing that destroys the university, postgraduate education system, right? There will be, I don't think it's unrealistic to think the education, I don't know what I call it, system, platform is fundamentally different in 2 decades, probably a decade. But it is interesting to think about the education system that was designed to produce factory workers finally might be destroyed because of AI. So kind of an interesting to think about. Don't know if you saw this, but it looks like Starbucks has joined the, right sizing initiative. Looks like they will be reducing headcount in order to turn around their business. I don't know if you guys caught this, but Friday, Fed President Waller came out firing. Basically, Fed President Waller says, guys, no rate cuts in January, but you can expect one in March. That is essentially what he said. And I quote, more rate cuts are possible in the next few months if inflation continues to do what it's doing. So, folks, last week we had several Fed presidents basically say, hey, we're good. Fed President Waller did not like that, basically saying, guys, you're not getting it. We are going to cut rates and cut rates a lot. Can you imagine 3 or 4 rate cuts from here? Certainly not my call. Again, I'm one of the odd guys that said no rate cuts in 25. So Fed President Waller saying I'm wrong. And frankly, I'm wrong in a big, big way. Was pretty interesting to hear an analyst from Fundstrat basically highlighting how Trump could come in, his drill baby drill mindset. And frankly, I've read articles that on Monday, we might get an executive order declaring an emergency on energy. So Fundstrat representative, I wish I wrote down his name. I was exercising, so I missed it. But basically says that drill baby drill, Trump might unlock 3 million barrels extra of oil production, driving oil down to $40. I haven't checked this morning, but last week oil, I think, was at $81. I could be wrong, but I'm close. Think about oil getting whacked in half. Folks, that is deflationary. Oil is seemingly involved in everything, whether it is a raw material for something or simply used in the transportation of something. Having the cost of oil is deflationary, is a good thing, does help everyone. Folks, I don't know what gas costs in your market, But let's just pretend for a moment it's 50 cents cheaper. It's $1 cheaper. That helps everyone, and frankly helps the folks at the lower income stream the most. The folks that are strapped, are tight. Again, I don't know if we get to $40 oil, but heck, if we get to $60 oil, I think that's a net positive. Let's congratulate some folks. We got some folks joining school. Again, I'm very clear with you. If you're having a hard time out there and you can't decide whether to go to Vegas or join school. Frankly, it's cheaper, right? 67 cents a day. Get in a room with 400 folks, free education, all of that stuff, 6 different masterminds. We had, hopefully I'm going to pronounce these correctly, Aga, David, Omira, and Ivan. All 4 of you joined in the last 48 hours. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, join, become part of the community, interact, unlock all the free education, get in the rooms, the virtual rooms with hundreds of people going in the same direction. You will truly enjoy it. But since we're doing congratulations, let's give a shout out to Alberto for getting his next deal, and Gonyo for getting his next deal. That was probably mispronounced. It was an honest attempt done poorly. But again, congratulations for getting your deals. Again, these are your next deals. Golden tickets would be your first deal. Happy to send those out. Let's talk about Redfin. Yeah, Redfin did say 40,000 homes, or 16% of pending contracts canceled last month. So again, when we talked about, what was it? Newark, New York, Detroit, and so on. If pending home sales are already down 17% and you layer in cancellations, January is going to be a slow month. We did have economist surveyed, 102 economists surveyed, 65 of them. So let's just call it 65% between friends. It's slightly less than that, but so what? Are saying the Fed is going to cut 2 times or less. Obviously, you can throw me in that camp as well. Well, we talked about Fed President Waller. Let's give Fed President Hammack some love. She is basically saying, no, Waller, you're wrong. This is what we get at inflection points. We get disagreement. Hammack is saying inflation remains an issue. Tariffs have the potential to complicate inflation outlook. This is the one I really loved. This is the one that makes Hammack a legend in my book. Says, I thought that the 75 basis cuts in 2024 was appropriate. Now, you might be missing why that's interesting, because we didn't have 75 basis points cuts in 24. We had 100. So what Hammack is saying is y'all were wrong. That December rate cut was a mistake. Thank you. I agree and have said so publicly multiple times. And then finally, basically Hammack saying Waller is wrong. The Fed can be very patient with future cuts. So Waller tells us a March rate cut is coming. Hammack says you're an idiot. There's no chance. We're going to see what we see. I hope you have an amazing day. This is the Daily Financial News. If you are still watching, do a brother a solid. Hit that subscribe button. Like, share these videos with other folks. We go live 5 days a week, mistakes and all, to help you understand what is going on, what to look forward to. And as always, thank you for being here. Thank you all 70 folks of you are watching live right now. Please understand, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. It means a lot to me that you guys are here. Later.